Everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Gangurde, Assistant Professor of Zoology, KTHM College Nasik. Students, in previous lecture we already discussed regarding the management of brooders, then methods of induced breeding. Now, today we are going to discuss on the nursery pond management. Now, the nursery pond management, which includes the cultural methods of these three fishes such as rohu, katla, and mrigal. Now, such as nursery pond management, which shows the steps such as selection of pond, followed by pond management, then techniques of management, as well as seed production. Now we can see all the steps one by one. Now, the culture method, which includes the fishes such as rohu, such as katla, and mrigal. Now, the first step of the pond management is what? The selection of ponds. Okay. Now the selection of pond is the main criteria which we have to keep it in mind. Now here, which include the important thing is that the soil which is used for the preparation of such a pond, such a soil which should be water retentive. Then adequate supply of water is assured, and that the pond is not in flood prone area. Okay, means we have to select specific area for the pond production or pond management, followed by we check the quality of soil. Okay, now after that, the ponds in bad condition or swampy ponds which can be renovated for fish culture by dewatering, then desilting, repair of the embankments, and provision of inlet and outlets. Now, the selection of pond is the basic criteria, followed by the second step is the pond management. Now, which include the carp culture in ponds, which is basically a three-tier culture system. Now, the first step which begins with the rearing of spawn up to the fry, that is 2 to 3 centimeter stages for 2 to 3 weeks in nursery ponds. Now, followed by rearing of 2 to 3 weeks old fry for about 3 months up to fingerling stages in rearing ponds. Means here the stages such as in between 8 to 12 centimeters. Now they are finally released in stocking ponds for growing up to table size fishes. Means up to they grows in their large size. Now to ensure that high rate of survival and growth during all the three stages of rearing, a package of management practices which should be strictly followed. Now, this is what about the pond management. Now, followed by the next step is the techniques of management. Techniques of management which involve the manipulation of pond ecology to ensure the optimum production of natural fish while maintaining the water quality parameters within tolerable limits of the stock fish species. The husbandry of fish through stock manipulation, supplementary feeding, and health care. Broadly, the various steps involved in the management of ponds at all the three stages of culture, which may be classified as pre-stocking, then stocking pond, and post-stocking management operations. Now, the rohu, which is the principal species, reared in carp polyculture system along with the other two Indian major carps such as katla and mrigal. Now in India, the species which is also cultured within the composite carp culture system, uh, such as or which incorporating all three Indian major carps as well as common carps such as cyprinus and two Chinese carps such as silver carp or grass carp. This along with that we can also use these species of carp. Now, however, the percentage of rohu even within the six species or the combination which is retained at 35 to 40%, similar to that in the three species polyculture system. Now, this is what about the nursery pond management. Here what we have to do, we have to select the fishes for culture method. Then we have to select the particular kind of pond. For that we have to select particular kind of soil and location, followed by the pond management. And now after that the particular technique of the management. After that, here the seed production. The female-male ratio, which is normally maintained at 1:1 by weight. Now, hatching tank or incubation tank, here the particular size and number of hatching tanks, okay, which may be vary based on the production of requirements and size of the breeding tank. Now, the optimum egg density for incubation is 0.7 to 0.8 millions per meter cube. In general, okay, here 0.15 to 0.2 million eggs per kg of females are obtained. Now, the seed rearing normally involves two-tier system, that is a 15 to 20 days nursery phase for rising plant, followed by 2 to 3 months phase for fingerlings production. Now, water storage and supply system, here which consists of three ponds having inlet and outlet of water to the tanks to fill water. Okay, again for cloning process and for harvesting purposes. Now, this is what about the basic nursery pond management. Okay, now here the nursery or there are three types of ponds. Okay, the types of ponds such as nursery pond, then rearing pond and stocking pond. Okay, we can see all the three ponds one by one. Now, here you can see the nursery pond management, or the first type of pond is nursery pond, and we can focus on particularly the nursery pond management. Now, the nursery pond management, which consists of the first step is what? The production of pond or preparation of pond. Now, here the pond preparation, which includes a nursery. Such a nursery can be an earthen pond or any seasonal pond. These ponds, they are 50 into 50 into 4 inch in size. They are dry during the summer season, and this helps in eradication of fish and okay, there is need to dry such a pond. Why? Because during the summer time, okay, all other species of their enemies, they can be died because of the rays of sun. Okay, now in case of excess mud, the top layer of about 10 to 15 centimeters should be removed. Okay, now the second step is what? Water supply. Now the water should be under good control and circulate, which again avoid the entry of predators and insects at this stage. Then the next step is application of lime. Here the fertility of pond soil is increased by application of lime. So the lime which maintains the pH of water, and here the particular dose of lime is 100 to 200 kg per hectare, which is sufficient, which is quite sufficient. Now the next step is the pond fertilization. Pond fertilization, here the purpose of fertilization is to increase the production of adequate quantity of zooplankton. Various inorganic and organic fertilizers which can be used. Now a dose of 5000 kg of compost per hectare, which gives a rich growth of plankton. Now the next step is what? The insect control. Now aquatic insects, they should be killed or controlled by applying oil emulsions. Then planktons. The plankton concentration should be maintained as the fry feeds mainly on plankton. The choice food for Indian major carp spawn, such as protozoans, rotifers and other planktons. Now the next step is the controlling vegetation. Now all the unwanted aquatic plants and weeds must be removed. Why? Because they causing disturbances and they consume the aquatic oxygen or dissolve oxygen. So there is need to remove such a aquatic plants. Now then harvesting of fry. When the fry grows to 20 to 23 mm size within a period of 13 days, these are harvested with a fine mesh cotton dragnet in cool morning hours for transferring to rearing pond. Okay, means the collection should be at the early morning, or harvesting should be at early morning or at the morning time. Now this is what regarding the nursery pond management. Now here we can see the preparation and management of rearing pond followed by stocking pond. The second one is preparation and management of rearing pond. Now here in this pond the advanced fry are raised for about 2 to 3 months. These ponds may be seasonal or perennial and are used for rearing advanced fry for 2 to 3 months. Such ponds are located near the spawning and nursery ponds, and their number may vary depending upon 1, 2 or 3 years of rotation of carp culture. Now the rearing pond management, which is almost equal to that of the nursery ponds. In rearing pond, the fish reaches from fry to fingerling stage in about 2 to 3 months. By this time, they again attain a length of 75 to 125 mm and are ready to transfer to the stocking pond. Okay. Now this is what the second type of pond, that is rearing pond, which is construct only for rearing of those hatchlings or those of the growing stages fishes. Now the next step is the preparation and management of stocking ponds. Now here the stocking ponds, they are large perennial ponds with average depth of about 4 to 6 feet. The main aim is to attain a high production in short possible time. The process of preparation of pond, which is same as that of the nursery and rearing pond. Now here these are the different steps, okay, such as manuring, supplementary feeding, examination, harvesting and polyculture. Okay, these are the steps. Now we can see all the steps one by one. Now here the first step of the preparation and management of stocking pond, the first step is the manuring. Now here you can see this is the stocking pond, right? And here the first step is the manuring. Now manuring here, as for the proper organic manuring, cow dung is the best and should be used at the rate of 20,000 to 25,000 kg per hectare per year. The inorganic chemical fertilizers are also used, such as the ammonium nitrate, then superphosphate and again ammonium sulfate at the rate of 1000 to 1500 kg per hectare per year. Now the supplementary feeding, which include a powdered rice, paddy, then oil cakes, coconut, groundnut and such a supplements, they are commonly used as an artificial food for the fishes. The best time for the feeding fishes is at the morning hours. Okay. Now the third step is the examination. Now periodic examination of carps in the stocking pond, which is necessary to keep a control on health problems and spread of disease. Now therefore we have to continuously examine, we continuously observe such a ponds. Now the diseases appearing are dropsy, then gill necrosis. Okay, these are the common diseases. They occur at any stage of this pond, that is in stocking pond. Now when fishes attain a maximum length and weight, they should be harvested. Now the next step is what? The harvesting stage. Now the harvesting, which is done by capturing the fish from the water. The well-grown fishes are taken out for market and smaller ones are again released into the stocking pond for their further growth. Now again here polyculture or composite fish farming. Now in polyculture, the major carps like Labio rohita, Katla, Sirenus regals, they are stocked together in the same pond. This method, which is called as composite fish culture or polyculture. Now, such a method which is based on the principle that when several species belonging to different ecological mix of a pond, they are cultivated together, the available food in the pond which is utilized most efficiently, leading to maximum production. Now, the stock is done in such a way that towards the end of vegetative period, marketable fishes of all the species are offered. Now, the composite carp culture in India is an age-old practice. The fishes like the katla which is surface feeder species, then Labiorohida which is again column feeder, and Sirinus regal, they are the bottom feeders. Now, when such a fishes, okay, they stock in a ratio of about 3:3:4. Such a fishes, they utilize food from all the levels of pond. At the same time, they do not harm each other and they do not compete with each other for their food. Okay. Now, the composite fish culture which prove that the rising carp with other fishes which increase the fish polyculture. Now, this is what regarding the polyculture. Now, after that, rearing of fingerlings. Now, the rearing of fingerlings which include the nursery pond or nursery phase. Okay. Now, here the nursery pond or nursery phase which include 3-day-old hatchlings. Okay. So, this is the actual procedure of rearing of fingerlings. Now, after that, fingerling production. Okay. In second step, then third step is what on-growing techniques, and the last step is what harvesting technique. Now, here you can see after the pond management, right? After the pond management, here you can see in this stage, okay, these are the factors, okay, they are responsible, or these are the steps they are need for the nursery pond management, followed by what? Here preparation of the rearing pond, followed by what? Stocking pond. Now here the steps such as manuring, supplementary feeding, examination, harvesting and polyculture. Now after that, here step by step, okay, here the rearing of fingerlings, then fingerling production, onward growing technique and harvesting technique, okay. These are the step by step techniques, okay, that we are going to follow in aquaculture or in such a fishery. Okay, now the first step is rearing of fingerlings, which include the nursery phase, or it is also called as a nursery ponds. Now it includes 3-day-old hatchlings measuring near about 6 mm in size, and they are reared up to fry of 20 to 20. Such a fries they measure the size of 20 to 25 mm in small earthen nursery ponds. After that, in certain areas, brick lined or cement tanks, they are also used as a nursery. Now, in many cases, the stocking of single species is normally advocated. Now, the farmers they resort to stocking all three species of the Indian major carps. Restocking nursery pond preparation should include the removal of aquatic weeds and predatory fish, followed by liming and fertilization with organic manures and inorganic fertilizers. Now, aquatic insects they are eradicated by the application of soap oil or soap oil emulsion, or they can be removed repeatedly by netting before the stocking. In earthen ponds, hatchlings are normally stocked at 30 to 10 millions per hectare, but at higher level of 10 to 20 millions per hectare, which are used in cement nursery. Now, the hatchlings normally receives a supplementary feed of a ratio that is 1:1, that is weight by weight, mixture of rice bran and groundnut or mustard oil feed. Now, the survival range which is from 30 to 50%. Now, here the non-availability of commercial feed which forcing the farmers to resort to the conventional bran oil cake mixture, which is the another limiting factor for the growth of survival of the fry. Okay, so these are what the rearing of fingerlings, and in nursery pond or nursery phase what we have to do, we have to maintain all the conditions and we have to provide a particular food in particular proportion. Now the second step is what? Fingerling production. Now which include the rearing of ponds. Now the nursery raised fry, that is okay, the size which is 20 to 25 mm are further reared for 2 to 3 months to 80 to 100 mm fingerlings in earthen ponds of 0.05 to zero point 0.2 hectare. Now here rohu are grown together with other carp species at at combined densities of 0.2 to 0.3 million fry per hectare, with the rohu which constituting about 3 to 40% of the total. Now here the pond fertilization with both organic and inorganic fertilizers and supplementary feeding with the conventional mixture of rice bran and oil cake are the norms. Means we have to provide feeding, that is what? The rice bran or oil cake. Okay. Now after that the overall survival in this fingerling rearing system which ranges from 60 to 70%. Okay. Now here what is the difference? In first step in rearing fingerlings the survival rate is 30 to 50%. Now in this second step the survival rate which is near about 60 to 70%. Okay. Now the third one, that is on growing techniques, which involve the stocking pond. Now grow out production of rohu, which is confined mainly to the earthen ponds. Here the fingerlings of size more than 100 to 125 mm. Okay, here you remember that there is difference in always in size in these various steps. Okay, now here in this step the fingerlings they are more in size and which is near about 100 to 125 mm, and now such a fingerlings they transfer to the stocking pond till they attain their marketable size or till they attain their specific weight. Okay, now the practical technology which includes the predatory and feed wash control. Now again here what it is actually, we have to provide feeding such as again rice bran, then wheat bran, then groundnut or again mustard oil cake. Okay, like a supplementary food, and again we have to provide a food which maintain the health of fish. Okay, now this includes in this third step. Now the fourth step is the harvesting technique. Now the harvesting technique, here such a carps they such a carps are cultured in pond and tanks and that are usually quite small, manually operated dragnets and are the most convenient gear used for harvesting. Here the length of this nets depends on the width of the ponds. Now in most cases fishes are harvested at the end of culture point through repeated netting. However, in some cases this is followed by total draining of the ponds. The cast nets are often used for partial harvesting in small and backyard ponds. In water bodies where multiple stocking and multiple harvestings are practiced, the harvesting of larger sizes, that is 300 to 500 grams, is usually initiated after 6-7 months of culture, and the smaller ones are returned to the pond for further growth. The multiple stocking and multiple harvesting is the most common practice in sewage fed carp culture system. Okay, this is what about the steps, that is rearing of fingerlings, then fingerling production, then on growing technique and harvesting technique. Okay, these are the steps. Now this is what regarding the pond culture management. Now in next lecture we discuss regarding the harvesting methods of the marine farms such as harpadon, mackerel and pearl oyster.